Before I begin, I have to ask that you don't laugh at me. I'm 19 years old and I can't sleep without a nightlight. I know it's childish, but seriously, I can't fall asleep in the dark. That, and I also can't sleep in silence. If the lights are off, I'm too afraid to open my eyes until sunrise, and if there's no noise, I hear things moving around, footsteps, breathing, and sometimes I even hear voices. I know it's just me scaring myself, but these things make sleeping impossible. Before I go to bed, I make sure to turn on my desk lamp and point the bulb at the wall to provide at least some measure of light, and I have a fan or YouTube playlist running, usually music or Game Grumps on most nights, with the volume down low. As you can imagine, this makes sleepover nights really hard for me. I get some comfort from having someone in the room, but I'm still unsettled and usually end up losing about an hour of sleep just trying to calm myself down. I always thought that if I were to ever encounter some kind of ghost or monster in the middle of the night, it would happen when I was over at a friend's house and got up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom or something. But the only night of any real note happened in my own house, in my own bed. The night began much like any other. I stayed up until around 1 or 2 in the morning before my eyes started to shut. I went through my nightly ritual of putting everything in place for me to be able to sleep and then got under my blanket. I was a little too hot and could tell that this would be one of those nights where I'd wake up several times before morning to take off and put back on my blanket because my body wouldn't be able to make up its mind on whether it was hot or cold. I closed my eyes and focused my hearing on the Let's Play I had pulled up to play me to sleep, and it wasn't long before I was too tired to make out what the video was saying, and then soon after I passed out. I awoke sometime later as I expected because I was too hot, so I pushed the blanket down to only cover my feet and closed my eyes to return to sleep. The playlist hadn't run out yet, and so I was out again in a matter of seconds. A while after that, I was awoken by my body temperature once more, this time too cold. I pulled the blanket up over myself, and then I realized something. My room was silent. The playlist had run out, and my computer had gone to sleep. Fan-fucking-tastic, I thought. I pulled the blanket up to my chin and closed my eyes and tried playing a song in my head to distract myself. It seemed to work until something caught my attention. I slowly peeked through my eyelids and saw that my room was pitch black. My desk lamp had been turned off. I quickly shut my eyes and desperately tried to keep my mind occupied in hopes of falling asleep and staying unconscious until morning. As I expected, my mind was only able to focus on the noises my house produced in the night. Creaking, popping, and thuds filled my room and forced me to close my eyes tighter and tighter. If I sit still, I have to fall asleep, I thought. Then I heard something even more unusual. I heard a deep, weighted creak of a chair just outside my door, as if someone had just sat at the desk in the hallway. My eyelids squeezed shut to the point where they hurt, and I slowly turned my back to the door. If it thinks I'm asleep, it won't do anything, I thought. I'm not entirely sure what I thought it was, but I was hoping it was my imagination. Minutes passed before something else happened, and I still hadn't fallen asleep. I didn't hear the chair again, but I felt some kind of presence on the other side of my door. I can't really describe the feeling, just when you know someone is there. I pulled my arms and legs tighter to my torso and waited for something else to happen. My room was dead silent. It was at this point I realized that I had been holding my breath throughout all of this. As my attention was drawn to my breathing, I realized how painful it was. My chest was hurting from having held my breath for this long, so I began slowly exhaling, but the pain was too great, causing me to rush all of the air out at once. This caused me to cough. Loudly. The next sound to follow my cough was unmistakably footsteps. No doubt these were fucking footsteps, and they were in my room, headed towards my bed. I couldn't help but hold my breath once more. The footsteps stopped near the foot of my bed, and then... nothing. I heard and felt nothing. I waited expectantly for something else to scare the shit out of me, but nothing did. I still stayed motionless, pretending to be asleep for what must have been an hour. After that much time of nothing, I gained enough courage to turn my body back to face my door and my computer. I had calmed down, but I was still a bit worked up over the noises. Once again, I occupied my mind with songs and other distractions until I decided that I wasn't getting back to sleep anytime soon. I reached to my computer and tapped the spacebar, causing my screen to light up and ask for my password. Being unable to see the keyboard, I reached up to the chain on the ceiling fan to turn on the overhead light. I reached for the handle, but I felt something else. My fingers were wrapped around someone else's hand who was gripping the handle of the chain. My heart sank, and my hand was paralyzed in shock. I raised my eyes to see who was there. The faint glow of my computer login screen was reflecting off of 2 rows of pure white, razor-sharp teeth, contrasted by a pair of oil-black lips stretched into a smile. The only other seeable feature were 2 lifeless, blank white eyes focused on me. My body was as still and as quiet as a statue. From the indistinguishable face came a playful, menacing, and high-pitched voice.
I come over to the goddamn house to make myself some goddamn waffles, and you don't have any batter. I found the blueberries, I found everything, but you don't have any goddamn waffle mix. How am I supposed to make my waffles, huh? How? Tell me, how am I supposed to make waffles if you don't have waffle mix? Now I have to go to some other random stranger's house and make some goddamn waffles there because, let's face it, losers only have, pancake mix. I don't need some goddamn pancake mix. I need waffle mix. Blueberry waffles with butter. Lots of fucking butter. Why? Why isn't there any goddamn waffle mix?